When I think of my dad, I think of three words: humble, hardworking, leader. Humble in the sense that he will never know how great of a dad he is, how great of a father he is to us, how much he has inspired us. He's probably even shaking his head right now in disbelief of like, I'm not that person, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Dad, you are a great dad. And I've heard other people talk about their dads, and when they talk about their dads, I'm like, wow, I got a really good dad, because my dad does not compare to any of those dads. It's like they're here and my dad is here, and that's just who you are. And that's why I consider you someone very humble. When I can think of someone who's hardworking, or anytime I have to do something I don't want to do, I literally think of all the times we'd sit on the couch and you'd be getting ready to go to work, and I would look at you and you'd be like, man, I really don't want to go to work. And I'm like, well, then why are you going to work? Why don't you just stay home? And you just replied with a simple, because of you guys. And there was times in our lives where you were working 3 jobs, working at a newspaper route, waking up super early. When you were done with that, then you would go and work windows. And then when you were done with that, you'd go down the hill and work your other job. You just worked. And then on the weekends, you do stuff around the house, whether it was building a house, whether it was, you just were always working, and you never, it was just like who you were. Like, it's not, and it may have been hard for you, but you never made it seem hard. It always seemed like it came effortless. Like, you would be tired. You would be, I mean, I remember the time we ripped out the whole septic tank in the front yard, and I was going through hell week, and I was in like tip top shape, and we came home from church and I passed out on the couch, and it was like you went out and you climbed back in that tractor and you just started working. Like, but it's just who you are. Like, I've never seen someone work as hard as you have. And like, that is something that I strive for, just because of what you were able to do for us as a family, as for me as a dad. Just watching that, like, it just instilled that if you're gonna provide for someone, you gotta work hard and make it look effortless. And for that, I thank you. And the last one, leader. Again, you're probably shaking your head at this because you're like, there's no way I'm a leader. But I've always seen you as a leader because you have had huge impact on decisions that I've made in my life that honestly made me who I am today. Like, for instance, when I tell people I've never been in a fight. Now, there's a reason I've never been in a fight. I remember there's 2 stories that come to mind. One is the story that you told me when you were walking home from school one day, and you cut across the street and you cut someone off, and that person got very upset, and he got out of the car and he walked over and basically sucker punched you, and you didn't do anything back. You just kind of looked at him like, are you done? And then walked away. And I remember the time you told me that story, I was just like, my dad is tough. Like, my dad is a straight superhero. For a dude to hit him, not only physically have control, but to mentally have the control to just walk away and be like, it is what it is. Like, it sounds weird, but I'm like, man, if I ever get punched in the face, I'm gonna do exactly what my dad did, just so I could go home and tell my dad, like, hey, we're the same. Like, I did exactly what you did. Like, there was another time where I was supposed to fight Taylor Flinchbaugh in 5th grade, and I came home and you said, why are you gonna fight? And I said, so I could get respect from people. Don't know what I was thinking. But you looked at me and you told me, if you fight him, you'll lose all my respect. And you just walked away. And it's stuff like that it was just like, that was a pivotal point in my life. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been in fights, but I never wanted to get into a fight because I didn't want to lose my dad's respect. And I read a lot of books on leadership, and I read a lot of books on leaders. And you have all the qualities of what make a good leader. You lead by the front, you lead by example, you won't ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do. These are all qualities that I strive to have. Even when it comes to drinking, another major decision I made. I never drank in my life because I was always afraid that it would come back and you would find out and you would have that look of disappointment, like I let you down. And that's one quality of a leader, is you have people that are willing to follow you and they don't want to let you down. Even when it comes to me playing football in high school, something that I looked forward to my entire life and something that I really wanted to do. When I look back on those 4 years and the moments I had playing football, they say you don't realize what you love until it is gone. When I stopped playing football, I didn't miss the touchdowns. I didn't miss the Friday night lights, making varsity. I didn't miss any of that. Like, those were cool and everything, but the thing I missed the most was any time I came off the field. And whether I scored a touchdown, I would always look up in the stands, no matter if it was a home or away game, because I knew I could count on seeing my family, but seeing my dad up in the crowd, Mickey blanket rolled out, Carhartt jacket on, hat, camera set up on a tripod, and I'd be looking for feedback. And I'd be either looking for a thumbs up, like good job. You'd sometimes just clap. You'd sometimes say great job. You'd sometimes give me some advice, whether it was stay low or, you know, keep outside contained, whatever it may be. But those were the moments I loved of football. After the games, going home when everybody went out and everything on a Friday night, I would go home and I would look forward to watching film with you, sitting down, replaying and just listening to your feedback, because I value your feedback, Dad. I respect your feedback because you're someone who I see as a leader. And even though football is done and I don't play anymore and I'm not on the field and you're not in the stands, I still look to you. I still look for your feedback in every aspect of what I do, whether it's a financial decision, whether it's a parenting decision, whether it's a husband decision. These are all major roles in my life, and everything I do, I'm looking for your opinion. I'm looking for a thumbs up. I'm looking for some advice, because you're one of the few people that I value your feedback, because I respect you, Dad. I see you as a major leader and someone who I strive to be. And I hope that I'm that person one day. So, because at the end of the day, Dad, you're not only my dad, you're truly my hero. You're someone that I just think very, very highly of. And there's a reason you were the best man in my wedding. It's not just because you were definitely best man material, but it's because you're the best man that I'll ever know. So if I had to describe my dad in 3 words, it'd be a humble, hardworking leader. I wanted to do something different for Father's Day for you this year, just out of gratitude of showing you how grateful, how thankful, and how much I appreciate you raising me as a man and being there for me as a dad. Not only for me now, but you're also there for Adeline as her papa. So I greatly appreciate everything you have done for me and your family, Dad. So I hope and pray that Adeline feels the same way about her dad one day that I feel about my dad every day. So I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
An early riser, always on timer, a backbreaker, giver not a taker, made sure nothing was missing so we could have everything you didn't. A patient teacher, strong steady leader, firm handshaker, never met a stranger, tough as steel, hard to go. It took a while, but now I know all the little life lessons, but you never expected. A thank you, a pat on the back, you did what you did, no questions asked. I could never say enough, through the downs and the ups. You carried the weight so we'd have a good life, raised us with love so we could fly. Anyone else would call you Superman, but I just call you Dad. A spirit lifter, problem fixer, words of reason, there when you need them, calm you down, set you straight. Yeah, I appreciate all the little life lessons, but you never expected. A thank you, a pat on the back, you did what you did, no questions asked. I could never say enough, through the downs and the ups. You carried the weight so we'd have a good life, raised us with love so we could fly. Anyone else would call you Superman, but I just call you Dad. I just call you when I'm lost, when I'm empty, when I need a little help. Whenever I get good news, you're the first one I want to tell. So I want to thank you, give you a pat on the back for doing what you did, no questions asked. I could never say enough, through the downs and the ups. You carried the weight so we'd have a good life, raised us with love so we could fly. Anyone else would call you Superman. And I am the man that I am because I call you Dad.